Hi, Lead 35. This is Mr. Young. The air conditioning just came on my little thing over there. I'm in the bedroom of my hotel in Toronto after a long day of doing stuff in preparation for the Canadian Student Leadership Conference. 12:14 my time. I know tomorrow's a busy day, so I'm sending this blog to you now just because I want to make sure that we're on the same page. Block 2, you get to see this first. Block 3, you probably just had the lunch meeting, and I'm curious to know how many of you are able to show up and actually talk and have a voice. Bottom line is this. We, as two classes, have to come together as one. It's so freaking difficult because we aren't there at the same time when we're making decisions. And it is the most frustrating part of trying to liaise between both classes for me and teach one Leadership 35 class in 2 blocks. Thanks to collaborative software such as Google, conversations with your substitute, and more importantly, text, remind messages, etc., between many of you, I think I have a pretty good idea of how things went last day. I think overall in Block 2 we got some things done. We were in committees and things for the most part worked out all right. I think in Block 3 there was room for improvement as far as communication goes. That's just me being blunt, being honest, and that's me getting that from multiple angles. And I think every one of you in Block 3 right now would agree. So, the bigger thing here is that we've got to figure out how to make some big decisions, and number one is theme. I think we all have different visions of what theme will look like. We started with Camp Scona, and then we went to Welcome to the Jungle, Welcome to the Jungle 1. Now we're in a brand new set of decisions, and this decision is, all right, there's multiple ways to look at Welcome to the Jungle. So what are we going to do? I'm going to say this to you very clearly right now. I'm going to lean in a little bit. You guys had a chance to talk at lunch today, those of you who could make it, and I don't expect everyone to have made it. I hope it was effective. I hope it was respectful. I hope it was critical but done in a good way. I don't know as the time that this is being filmed. And some of you right now are nodding along and thinking, Mr. Young, you'd be proud of us. Potentially you're watching this and you're not saying anything because you know I would not be proud of you. That's the hard thing about teaching from afar. I'm pretty sure I'll find out. I just really wish the news I would find out would be good. Hopefully that's the case. Ultimately, we only have this much time, but we have this much imagination. From what I can see with the documents, I think we have to make a decision based on, when it comes to theme, whether it's like plane crash or, Gaylord losing his marbles and needing to kind of figure out the remedy, I think we can write a script for either. But I'm a little bit worried that we're caught up in the technical, we have this big vision, but we don't know how to execute it. I'll give you an example. A few years ago at Gilo, before your time, we were 40 minutes from the opening ceremonies, and a student MC ran up to me and said, Mr. Young, when are we going to do the thunder and lightning sound effect? And I said, what are you talking about? He's like, well, I just think it would be so much more cooler if we did that. And I had no idea because it wasn't in the script. He just had in his mind that we were going to do this thunder and lightning sound effect and visual effect, and there's no way to do it. He's like, all right, no problem. We'll just use a big bass drum and gong to kind of get their attention. I said, well, where is it? How are we going to do it? And bottom line is, there wasn't a plan. And right now, I see potential in both sets of scripts. But until someone texts me or emails me and says, Mr. Young, this is how the plane can land. This is how it'll look. Mr. Young, this is the plane that we have on stage. These are the lighting that we're going to use to make the gym and every seat feel like aisles. The plane crash idea, I just don't see it outside of an audio sound effect for a plane crash, and then MCs coming out of the rubble, which we could make on stage in a jungle scape, and saying, man, I can't believe we survived. Now we have this plane crash scenario. You can write a creative script. From what I see on the pitch, on the narrative ideas file, I don't see how we're doing that in the amount of time we have. I am not against the idea of doing the plane crash, but we're going to have to scale it back unless you have a plan and you know something that I don't. My job is to ask those critical questions. So do you know something that's going to make that plot work? Because otherwise, I am worried we're going to go down that rabbit hole and be left with very little. So we're going to have to make it more doable. Now, if we go the other direction, or if we do a plane crash / Baylor loses marbles / whatever we want to do, then we have to write that. I'll say this, guys. Some of you may have already made this decision, Block 3, at lunch today, and you're like, Young, shut up, we're going to get to work. So how about this? Ultimately, the group in Block 2, who's in charge of opening ceremonies, once you've got voice from Block 3 and Block 2, and I know you're considerate, we can go to a vote, or you can make the call, because I empower committees, and eventually we have to move forward. And you can make that call, and you can let us know what we're doing, and tie that into workshops, tie that into the afternoon activities, tie it into evening entertainment. At some point, we just have to kind of make that call. Anyway, I'm curious to know how it's all gone. I hope the meeting was effective. I hope something is developed as far as shirt design. Know, guys, that sometimes things are going to be revised time and time again. If you look at the scripts from previous years in terms of Gilo or opening ceremonies for Bikeathon, usually the script is literally rewritten 10 to 12 times. And a lot of the original ideas are cut out. So I don't want anyone to be upset if their prototypes of shirts don't work. On the same note, you got to be really careful. You got to be smart about how you give critical feedback. People are working hard to try to make a good product, and I don't know. I just want to make sure we're doing good. Guys, I've literally probably texted with probably 20 or 30 of you, which is quite a bit, and had more communication in other ways. I think I have a fairly good idea how things have gone, and I'm not trying to put anyone on the spot here. I just think that we have to we got to make sure we're being our best as we interact with each other. All right, I got to shut up. You guys get to work. You guys got lots to do today. Maybe you'll do an Energizer. Maybe you'll just actually get in a circle and you'll make plans. Overall, I think you guys are doing a good job considering I'm not there to facilitate. I'm just curious to see how you did. I'm sure I'll get an email from Ms. Pats, and I'm sure that you guys will also be in touch with me. You'll ask questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can, as I promised I would, and I have done so thus far. All right, guys, peace. Heading to bed. Sorry for the late, fuzzy, tired blog. I hope it's been effective, and I apologize if I wasted your time. High five, guys. See you in a while.